Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failer. And next up is a whole bunch of jumps and packages in the airport. I took care of just about everything left to do in the airport. So grab the fixed and furnace from this parking lot. If it's locked, then just head back out to the main road behind us and see if you can find a sports car there. Or if you get far enough away, you can then come back to this parking lot and the furnace will respawn and maybe it'll be unlocked. Okay, so first up, we're going to head over here and do two unique jumps in a row. We want to head this way, kind of following the road. A bunch of these, so these planes are all solid except for the ones that are moving, so you can drive right through them and not worry about anything. So what we want to do is get in between these two planes and then kind of swing the camera around. So you can maybe see off in the distance there, just underneath this parked plane in front of us, there are a couple of like little yellow and white diagonal striped things. We want to hit either of those ramps. I always aim for the one on the right. The difficulty here is that the plane's in the way, so it's kind of hard to line things up because you can't see where you're going. So I'm going to do my best to kind of line up this way. I think that's about as good as we can do. I'll tap forward a couple of times to get the camera to come around. So it's that white and yellow stripe thing I'm aiming for. I actually don't want to hit it dead center. What I want to do is angle just a hair off to the right. If you aim too much to the left on that ramp, you can get credit for the jump, but smack into one of the parked helicopters over there, which has a decent chance of causing you to flip your vehicle, which is a time loss. So we don't want that. So we're just going to gun it, aim basically center, but a tiny bit to the right of this right-hand ramp. So I might be too far to the right to get credit for it. It's okay if we have to do it again. It's not that big a deal, but there on the left of the parked helicopters I was trying to avoid. Okay, so we were too far to the right. We didn't get credit for that jump. So we shall try again, but we definitely don't want to flip our furnace because then you gotta make your way all the way back out of the airport and get another one and then try again. All right, so we won't aim as aggressively to the right. Well, that looks pretty much a carbon copy of the failed jump we just did. Let's see what happens. If it works, we're heading to that yellow ramp up here. That's the next jump right there, the right-hand one of those three. And when we get to the second jump, we can hit that one dead center because there's no parked helicopters on the other side of that one. All right, third time's the charm, as they say. Let's try it here. All right, so that is not quite as aggressively right as the other ones. Let's see if that counts. Again, just desperate to avoid those parked helicopters there. All right, so there we go. And then we hit this one pretty much dead center is fine. These jumps are easy, except for the helicopter shenanigans. So then we're going to continue heading this direction and right to this kind of far corner here to a hidden package. Now, you do want to be careful here because there's a lot of water around here. So as you learn your way around, you want to make sure that you don't drive off of any cliffs. And it's actually kind of hard to see like the concrete. That's a ramp. And over here, we're going to drive off of this edge with just a tiny bit of pace and grab this hidden package. And then we'll make a U-turn up this ramp and then up this next ramp and then jig just a little bit to the right and then basically follow this runway here. And as soon as we're able, we're going to cut to the left. Now, sometimes I have trouble finding this thing because this concrete gray is just all kind of uniform and I have difficulty seeing exactly where I'm supposed to go. So we're going to cut to the left across this runway here. And there's just this little tiny section with the yellow stripes. Hard to see. Don't go too fast, but there is this ramp going downhill. Again, do not drive off the edge. And then right over here is our next hidden package. And then one more on the airport that we're going to grab now. And there are actually two other hidden packages that we're going to grab later on a particular mission. But we go over here to this staircase right by the fixed police car. That car always spawns there. So if you happen to flip your furnace on one of those helicopters, you can come back over here and grab the police car. The police car isn't fast enough to do any of the unique jumps here, but at least you can take it and drive out of the airport and then back in after you've picked up another furnace. Okay, so the last unique jump of the entire game is not this one immediately to our left, but ahead and to the left. So we're going to go straight past this hangar and then jig to the left and then hit this right-hand ramp. Fairly straight is fine. This is a pretty straightforward one. I think you just need to clear the top of this hangar. And then that should be the end of the unique jumps in the whole game. All 20 done, and then a 1 with a lot of zeros. So that's $1,000,000. Booyah. Money is actually not an issue at all in this game, at least not if you follow the route that I follow. Like in some other GTA games, like you gotta work to earn money in order to buy certain properties because you don't naturally have enough money yet. But here it's no problem. Okay, so we are going to take this dodo and bring it all the way back to Portland. So I'm going to slash here. Now here's the deal. Flying the dodo, like I mentioned in a previous video, is ridiculously hard, or it's hard to learn, I should say. Once you learn it, it's fairly straightforward. I still have some crashes and accidents and stuff, but I recommend strongly that unless you know how to fly a dodo, you just drive this dodo back, take it out of the airport, go through that kind of red and white barrier thing, cross the bridge into the second island, drive all the way to the bridge that takes you to the first island, and then drive this to the import-export garage. The difference between that and what I'm about to do, which is to fly the dodo, is like, I think it's a minute. I actually tested it once a while ago. It's only like a minute time save that we're talking about. So I did spend some time learning how to fly the dodo, and I'll describe to you what I'm doing here, but this is not a dodo tutorial video. There are other such videos out there on YouTube, so you can check it out. This is going to be a little bit trickier because of the fog here, but we'll make it work. So we're going to gun it to this runway here. Don't hit any of these lights on the left or right of the runway. Don't even go over them in the middle with your dodo, because they'll mess you up. It's okay to go over the lights here. And then as I get near the end, I'm actually not even going full speed. I'm trying to get near the end of this runway, and then I'm going to hold down 6 on my number pad. And as soon as I see sparks, I'm going to let go. There are the sparks. I'll let go of the 6. Give it a little bit more tappy 6. The key with the dodo is that everything needs to be tappy, because the dodo just has a mind of its own. All right, so I'm heading for this large roadway here. And basically, I just want to land on the bridge up ahead. And if you happen to clip something, that's okay. Just trying to land here. So I'm going to give it a little bit of 9 to take myself in for a smooth landing. So I flew for I don't know how many seconds the first time around, and then another 7 here. And then I'm just going to drive the rest of the way. And so I experimented a lot with trying to find a quick way to get this dodo from the airport back to the first import-export garage over on Portland Island, this one we're at right here. And this is the best I could come up with. Everybody get out of my way. I'm working. So I did experiment with flying all the way from the airport, basically to the big area with the import-export garage on it that we're driving to now. And number one, it wasn't any faster to do that than to do the short flight to the bridge and then drive the last little bit here. Like I experimented with both driving all the way here, flying all the way here versus what we just did, and trying to land over here. It just proved very tricky. I would land and sometimes hit a pole, and I would flip my dodo and be sad, or I'd hit a building and flip my dodo and be sad, or like I'd land, but then the dodo would land real hard and it would fly up in the air and flip over, and I would be sad. And I was just sad a lot of the time, and I just couldn't find a consistent, like a nice open area to land in other than the bridge that I just demonstrated here. So that is my recommendation. Recommendation 1 is to just drive the dodo all the way back. Like I said, it might only be a 1 minute slower type thing. It's annoying, for sure, to drive it all the way back. Oh, I think I messed up my stuff here. All right, so we slash this one, and then we minus this one. Okay, yeah, all good. So it's annoying, and it feels very slow and tedious to drive it back. But like I said, learning to fly the dodo, it took like 2 hours, and then like another 2 hours of practicing and trying to find a way to fly it all the way to the import-export garage before settling on the land on this bridge technique right up here. So learn to fly the dodo if you really want to, but it just doesn't save that much time on my route. Now there are real fast guys. By the way, I'm looking for a sports car on my way to starting the next D mission, decoy. Now there are much more talented GTA speedrunners than me who use the dodo quite effectively, and so it's really entertaining to see them fly the dodo around, use the dodo as their like primary means of transportation for a whole string of missions. Still looking for a sports car. especially for decoy. That's awesome to watch those speedrunners use the dodo on decoy really, really quick, and they even have to do something kind of funny where they like tap the dodo's wheels on the ground at some part of one of those islands. It's just awesome. But I don't do any of that. For me, the dodo is just I just use it in that one mission where we flew to the construction site, and then this other mission, and we're not using the dodo anymore for the rest of the game. Okay, so this is a mission that I might fail, so I'm gonna kind of cheese it up here and save 4 times to get the time back to where it was. This is cheesing it up because you're not supposed to be able to save from here. I wouldn't normally like safety save on this mission anyway, but just because I'm making a video and if I die, I just want to reset right there. Okay, so what we're looking for is we're going to drive to the airport. We're going to cross the bridge. There's no time limit here. Hello. What I'm looking for on the way is either a Sentinel or an Infernus. Now, the Infernus is really common, and surely we'll see some as we drive to the airport. But both of those vehicles, the Infernus and the Sentinel, exist in the airport parking lot as fixed spawns. I'm not sure if that was a Sentinel right there. It might have been. I have trouble distinguishing the Sentinel from the Kuruma. Like, I think we just passed a Kuruma. So what we're going to do is just drive to the airport. I'm going to show you the 2 fixed spawns. We've seen them before. And I would much rather, and I'm going to take one of them to the import-export garage. I would much rather take the Sentinel just because there's a decent chance to find an Infernus just as you drive around the island. And I just don't find the Sentinels nearly as often. So I'd much rather take the Sentinel. And the only thing that would stop me from taking the Sentinel would be if the Sentinel's locked. So hopefully I've got the Sentinel available. Is this a Sentinel right here? Like, I don't even know. Is that a Kuruma or a Sentinel? Who knows? Impossible to figure out which is which. But anyway, for the purposes of this tutorial, I will show you. So there's an Infernus right there. So if I were speedrunning and not making a video, I might have just grabbed that Infernus, but instead we'll come right in here. So there's the Infernus here and the Sentinel here. So hopefully this thing is unlocked, and it's not. So we're going to come over here. We're going to grab the Infernus, and we're going to slash that one. If this one was locked, then I guess I would drive away and then come back. And then we're going to bring this to the import-export garage. We're going to drive right by what the game is intending for us to do on this mission, which we have not done at all yet. I'm driving straight and not at all fast because I got my piece of paper to tell me to mark down which of the 2 vehicles, Sentinel or Infernus, that we're depositing here, just so that I know when I come back and it's routed into the game to come back and grab the other one. So this police activity, this is where we're supposed to do our magic thing, which we will once we drop off this Infernus. But the timer on this mission doesn't start. There's no rush to begin the mission. Okay, so Infernus is now in there, so that's cool. And now on my piece of paper, I'm checking off Infernus, and that's going to tell me that when we come back later in the game that we need the Sentinel, and then this garage will be done. So that's cool. Take any car you want. Fast, slow, doesn't matter. It's a very short drive to where we're headed. Oh, I should have minused there. Something else. This would be an opportunity to do more import-export vehicles. We've already done the whole list for this tutorial. But again, if I was speedrunning, I probably wouldn't have done the whole list at this point. I would have just done the vehicles that happened to be there when I happened to be there. And there'll still be another opportunity to finish that list according to my live split instructions. Okay, the premise of this mission is that you get into this secure car and you get a 6-star wanted level and you have to survive for 3 minutes. So carefully go over this. That's one of the scariest parts of this 3-minute thing. And every time you get clobbered here, you get damaged a little bit. But the secure car is quite robust. And so usually I don't have any issues with damage. Now, I'm going to be aggressive and drive back to the safe house because that's where, that's close to the next mission. But if you don't want to be aggressive, make a right there. Head back towards the fire truck. So I'm just kind of carefully driving slowly here so I don't take too much damage smacking into the wall. So you drive to the fire truck to where the that hidden package was by the thing that I called like a decagon. I mentioned it in a previous video, and you just hang out there. I'm just driving slow here. It's no problem that I'm getting clocked by this police car behind me. He can't do much damage to me. The only downside is that he might blow up near me, which would cause me to blow up, which would be a problem. Make a right here. Either lane is fine. So just hang out underneath that awning by one of those hidden packages right next to that decagon type thing near the airport. Might be like a terminal or something. And just kill the 3 minutes there and just wait. You do need to stay in your vehicle. I think if you get out, you have like 10 seconds to get back in, but there's no reason to get out. Just stay in the vehicle, hang out there. And as soon as the 3 minutes expires, just drive your secure car basically to the construction site, which is where we're headed right now. But I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more greedy, a little bit more risky, and make this right here to get to the second island. And you can see my damage meter is maybe a quarter, maybe not even a quarter full. So all good. And just making my way to the safe house where we're going to pick up the FBI car in preparation for bringing it to the first island for import-export. So if I had died or been busted or something and I didn't have rockets, then I would, instead of going directly to the safe house here, I would go over to, whatchamacallit, Phil's or Ray's, no, Phil's, right here. And I wouldn't get out. I wouldn't try to buy these things until the 3-minute timer is expired, but I would just hang out back there. It's pretty safe. I'm going to try to go around these guys instead of going through. But I know that I have rockets aplenty, and so we're just heading to our safe house. Oh my goodness, I just got smacked right there. And so we're almost there. Timer is almost expired. The helicopters, the police helicopters, do shoot at you, so you can't just like hang out in some open air exposed area forever for the 3 minutes. So we'll come down here. There's a police car there. We can park in here. You want to be really safe, but do not get out. Stay right there in the vehicle. I don't think that the police car can come in here. I don't know if police officers can come in here. But there we go. Mission passed. And so now we'll get out. Just because I don't have full armor, we'll grab that, grab some of these things, but I don't think we need them anymore. And that's pretty straightforward. I used to be kind of stressed about that mission, but I think I've come up with a strategy that is pretty safe and consistent and allows me to proceed to the next step in the mission kind of efficiently. Okay, so we're taking this to the A marker, and we're going to start espresso to go. But again, I'm going to save just, I don't think I'm going to fail this mission, but I don't want to have to redo the mission that we just did, just in case things go horribly wrong. Okay, so I think we're good there. Let's start Espresso to Go. So Espresso to Go is a very difficult mission for the casual player, I think. I failed this many times. How long has Asuka been beating that poor guy? Okay, don't take this car because we worked real hard to get the FBI car, and we need to grab that right now. So the premise here is that you need to blow up or damage. You need to set afire, I guess it's eight or nine different espresso stands. And these espresso stands are scattered around the 3 islands. They're in fixed locations. The difficulty, and you can see some of them on the map there, those 2 turquoise dots. The difficulty is that the dots only show up on the map if you're close to the espresso stall. So for example, there's several other espresso stalls south of us on this island, and you can't see them unless you get closer. And so the tricky part here is that you gotta kind of like, the timer will start, that 8-minute timer will start once we blow up the first espresso stand. And then you have 8 minutes to blow up the remaining, I guess it's 9 altogether, so 8 more, which is plenty of time if you know where the stands are. But if you don't know where the stands are, my goodness, the game does not really help you out in terms of telling you where they are. So I don't know what the intention was with not making the stands visible on the minimap. And I've already complained many times about how the minimap is flawed and that it's not expandable. So there's the first one, but don't hit it right now because that will start the timer, and we're first going to deposit this FBI car. So if you follow my route, you'll learn the locations of all these things, and this will be a straightforward mission. Okay, so drop that thing off. I always like to look behind and make sure it's being picked up by the magnet crane thing. So we'll minus that one. And then we're going to head over this way, and we're going to switch over to the Kuruma, just because it's faster than this Yankee is. All right, and as I'm switching, I'm going to also change weapons to my rockets, and we should have plenty right there. 45, I think we only need 9. Now you can smack into these things, but it's quicker to whatchamacallit, to rocket them, because then you can rocket and then run away. Okay, so we got a wanted star there. That's pretty uncommon for me. Now, I'm going to take the back way up here to St. Mark's because the Mafia is still quite mad at me for some reason. Oh, goodness, this is poor. This is poor. So now I need to steal a car somewhere. So this is a little bit of a time loss. It's like risky to steal a car up here because the Mafia does not like me. Where are the cars? All right, I know there's a Bobcat over here. Maybe we can use that one. And, oh, Sentinel, even better. So I'm going to switch back to my rockets there. Okay, so typically, so if you really want to be safe, you drive behind these buildings to my right because you can get blown up by all of these Mafia guys here. We're going to take a chance here and just hop in and try to get the heck out of Dodge before we get damaged too much. Okay, so it says that's all of them on this island. So we're going to make our way, so we're going to slash there, and then I've got instructions here telling me what to do, still getting shot at by the Mafia. It says we're going to take the bridge to Staunton and work from south to north. So we're going to slash that, head over this way, and take this bridge, and then head south. So a little bit of time lost there because I lost my vehicle and then had to run around and find another one, but it wasn't too bad. And then the triads are still shooting at you, but their weapons are not near as powerful as the ones from the Mafia. So you can switch to a sports car if you want. I guess if my Sentinel here were more damaged, I might. But I think the Sentinel is plenty fast for my purposes here. So we'll take this kind of double road here. I'm just headed in the direction of traffic. You could have taken the first left turn instead of the second one, but I just think it's easier to drive in the direction of traffic than not. Okay, so we'll take this last left-hand turn and we'll finally get this dot to show up on the map. I mean, seriously, Rockstar, like how are people supposed to know where these things are? So we blow them up thusly. You don't need to watch the rocket. But I guess I'll watch the rockets for the purposes of this video. So we head back here. We're going to get on the other side of this building and come over this way. And you can shoot this guy from farther away than I do, but all good. It's also cool to see the real good speedrunners do this mission because they got like the perfect route and the perfect spot to stand from, and they can be really far away and just barely hit the thing, and then just they're already back in the car before the rocket has reached its destination. Cool to see. Okay, so the next one here is up in Central Park. Excuse me, Belleville Park. Just kind of driving cautiously here because I'd rather not lose my vehicle. Okay, so I think there's just one more. Yeah, there's just one more on this island. We can see the dot here to our east. So we just make our way over to the east. And then we'll head over to the final island. Can I shoot it from here? I don't actually usually try from way up here. Look at me, look at me. Okay, so now we're making a U-turn, heading over to the bridge in Shoreside Vale. And you could take the tunnel instead of one or both bridges, but I've decided that the best route for me anyway is both bridges. So we're gonna head over this way, and then as soon as we cross the bridge, we're gonna make a right-hand turn into the grass, which will allow us to kind of get to the penultimate, second to last espresso stand kind of quickly. So here we go. If the bridge is up, you just lose a little bit of time, but no big deal. You can see we have plenty of time and only two left. And one of them is here at the airport and the other one is in Pikes Creek, which is nearby. So easy if you know ahead of time where the locations are. So we're gonna head over the grass here. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm basically heading, you know, like to the right, not too aggressively to the right, but don't go too far left because there's water and water equals pain. So from here, I used to stand on my roof, but you don't need to do that. You can just aim for the roof. I used to stand on the roof of my car, but you can just aim for the roof of the espresso stand. Okay, so we're slashed because we did that one. Then it says pick up the Sentinel or the Infernus. So we've already gotten an Infernus, I know, because I checked it off on my handy-dandy printout of all the cars we need. And now we're looking for a Sentinel. So hopefully the Sentinel is unlocked. But we do have plenty of time. From here to the final espresso stand to complete the mission is only maybe like a 1 minute drive, less than like a 40-second drive. So if this thing were, locked, then I would just drive. Oh my goodness, there's like mad people. Usually there's no mad people here. But this is the gang that we're decimating right now. So it's understandable, their anger. So I would typically just drive up like to that intersection at the airport, make a U-turn, and head back. And the Sentinel might be unlocked, and just do that a few times. I wouldn't even like if I were low on time, like under a minute, then I would abandon the Sentinel and Furnace shopping, and instead just come up here and take care of this last espresso stall, and then go back to the airport and get the Sentinel or the Infernus, whichever one I was missing. For some reason, the mission doesn't pass instantly, just takes a few seconds here, and then it passes. And then we'll hop back in our Sentinel and drop off the final import-export vehicle for this garage. So that's pretty exciting. The first import-export checklist that's completed. But there's not too much to do for the other two. So we're getting darn close to the end. Okay, so we hop out here, we push minus because that one is done. Then it says in the step on the timing program, finish import export. So this is the last opportunity. Grab the manana, grab the taxi, you've got your checklist, grab whatever is missing. You might need to take some time to do that, but in this case, we've already done all of these things. So next up is Sam. I'm going to take, I like the third vehicle here. That's the Banshee. So I just grabbed the third icon. This is the reward for completing a garage, is that any of the vehicles that were required for this garage, you can just grab. Okay, so what we're doing here is heading back to the airport, and I think I'll just drive to the A and then end this video. But we are really coming now near the end of the entire game. It's been quite the journey for all of us. But getting close to the 100% completion, which is pretty darn cool. Okay, so I actually have tried to find a better route than this, because this is kind of a long, annoying drive back to the A. It just takes time, but I could never find something better. The idea here is that you've got missions that take you from some starting point to some ending point, and you've got restrictions about like what like certain missions don't unlock until you've done other missions. That's a wall, easy. And so there's just a lot of restrictions in terms of routing, and so I came up with this using RD3 lines. Wonderful route as a starting point, and I never liked this long drive, but I couldn't find anything better. Okay, so I think that's good for this video. Next up is another Asuka mission. So we'll call this video done here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.